Pitched well. You know, he's victim of a couple of broken back singles to right field. You know, can't really fault him for that. Made good pitches, and you know they fisted him out over the infield where you know Joey can't get to him. It's just one of those well-placed balls. I think he threw one or two breaking balls the whole inning. That's how good a fastball he was carrying. Unfortunately, one got a lot of the plate there with you know, the left fielder Upton. But he obviously, like you said, he's been throwing as good as anybody. So he put a long list of relievers together. He's right there with them. But tonight just bit him. There's a lot more of that game. We scored 2 runs. That's probably more of the story. That's more for me anyway. Verlander's good. Unfortunately, we knew he was pitching well coming into it, carrying a lot more fastball than he had the first half of the season.
Bottom of the 7th, what did the umpires explain to you on the Joseph play?
Check swing.
Check.
That's another one I've been talking about. You know, one of the things I've been talking about is having a couple of, you know, reviews for check swings, because it's the one play that's it's impossible for the umpires to really know for sure. You know, and obviously the intent isn't to swing. You go by intent. It's pretty easy. You know, Jeff's a good umpire. He's trying to get it right. You know, I disagree with him, but you know, it's a split-second decision. I'd probably feel differently if I was in the other dugout. But like I said, we had a lot of other things that came into play. He's got a check swing. That's one of those. That's why I wish you had a couple that take 30 seconds. You know what's funny about it is not funny, but if you look at a lot of replays of those over the course of a game, you can't definitively tell from a replay a lot of it, and that's probably some of the reason why. And it also makes you realize how tough a call it is. But you know, we've eliminated so many things that irritate people, you know, and cause some stuff like happened tonight. But when you think about replaying it, I mean, can everybody here definitively say he didn't go or did go from the replay? I mean, it depends on how you judge it. If you judge it by intent, then obviously he didn't.
Not to belabor that, but did Nelson, was he told to, I mean, did they check to him? I mean, it was hard for us to see.
Okay, so yeah, you have to early. Yeah, he checked. So
they pointed to him, and he, okay.
Well, I know their dugout was asking him to. I'm sure the catcher was. I don't know. It's another there's so many, you know, you got it. A lot of the ballparks have the concrete back there. Balls come back. There's a lot of little things that add up. I mean, it's tough to fault a guy wild pitch like that, and you take off for third. You know, if he stops, he's out going back to second. Probably one of those things where he's probably safe, but you're not going to get that overturned.
Buck Gausman.
Yeah, he was really good.
Do you guys feel like maybe some of the patience you had earlier this season and sticking with him has paid off over the last 3 or 4 starts for him?
Well, I appreciate that thought, but, you know, the patience was because we knew Kevin was better than that, and you know, some of the patience we've had to have with, not had to have, but want to have because of their track record. Kevin doesn't have a long one, but we know he's capable of better than that. There's a lot of things that, you know, he and Roger have been working very hard about executing location of pitches, and that's really what's changed. It wasn't anything. I think might be leading the league in starts now. I mean, there's a lot of good things that are going on with Kevin. Tonight was another example of that. He was really good, and it's just like, you know, I was thinking watching Verlander and him both. They gave up home runs, and the next pitch are strikes, and they get right back in it. Where you see a lot of guys let it get away from them a little bit emotionally, and you know, Kevin looked every bit the part as Verlander did tonight.
But do you think he can get to the point where he's polished enough to get that pitch count down a little bit?
Well, you know, one of the problems, I can't tell you, and I challenge you sometime when a good pitcher's out there to count how many 2-strike pitches are ticked off, just fouled off, and there's a reason why complete games just, I mean, how many are there a year? There's so many times you make a really good pitch with 2 strikes and they just tick it off. They tick it off, and that's one of the big differences in Major League game and a minor league game. You got to earn everything. They're going to grind. I mean, he had to think that he got through 7 innings after throwing almost 30 pitches. I don't know what it was at the first inning. I mean, he got right back in line there, and that was a challenge. But I've been really impressed how how Gauss is holding his stuff late in the game, especially the last 3 or 4 starts. Seems to be getting stronger as the season goes on. His velocity, I mean, Michael's was as good as it's been all year this year, too. It's just unfortunate that he didn't get a better result for the pitches he made to the first 2 hitters.
I think that Mancini has a chance to play tomorrow.
We'll see. I asked Richie about that on the way down here, and he said it's a little too early to tell. It loosened up a little bit, got a little better as the game went on. I was going to have to pinch hit for Caleb there. His throwing hand. They just got an X-ray that was negative. So that's good news. And did do it. You asked me earlier. They did do an X-ray on Trey, and that was negative. So I'm not sure about Caleb's availability yet tomorrow. But if we'd gotten him up, we're going to have to hit there. And we were contemplating using Trey also, but we're trying to stay away from it. We would have hit Castillo before him in any situation.
Beckham, how much of these last 4 games is just, do you think, is just the the jolt you get from a new team, and how much of it is him?
We'll see. We'll see. I think Tim, if you look at his numbers, I know it's one of the things that Dan was showing me during the process outside the ballpark at the Trop. Got a new environment. First time guys change. I've got a lot of confidence in our environment and our, so I don't want to use the word culture, but his teammates. And it wasn't like I sat down and had some long, deep talk with him. He just wants to play, and he's going to get an opportunity here. And we'll see where it takes us. But so far, he's been really good. Obviously, you can tell he just seems real locked in a lot of areas other than just his day-to-day. He's not going out of his way to fit in. I think guys are making his path easier, and we're getting return for it right now. But we'll see when some of the novelty of a new team and everything wears off. But what do you want him? You'd rather it be this way. And I don't think anybody's going to be able to stay at the pace he's performing at right now, especially offensively. But I watch him in BP, and some of the approaches he's had, it allows him to hit the ball where he's hitting it, and he's running good, and we'll see. 27-year-old young man with some real pedigree.
Well, do you have to have a contingency plan set up already?
Pardon?
Do you have to have a contingency plan set up already because of those 2 guys potentially being hurt on the bench?
I think Trey is going to be tomorrow or the next day. You talking about both of them?
If Caleb's not available and Trey, basically.
Oh yeah, we'll be prepared for it. Started the discussions a little bit before. What's wrong? Yeah, I got before we came down here, but I'll continue them. I got to step back and kind of look at what went on in Norfolk. We came close to adding a pitcher today because of Castro's unavailability and the way their lineup's constructed. So that's another thing we're talking about, whether we need to. We want to wait and see, kind of roll the dice a little bit that Kevin would get us through 5 or 6 tonight, which he did more than that.